Rain whispered softly against the windows of the wandering inn. Inside, the fire glowed with its familiar warmth, filling the small wooden room with gentle amber light. The innkeeper quietly placed another ancient journal upon the weathered oak table. Its cover was unlike any you had seen before. Deep blue leather, silver waves, and a crystal seashell that shimmered softly beneath the firelight. The journal rested in complete silence, as though it had been waiting for you all along. The innkeeper smiled. The sea is never in a hurry. Slowly, you reached out and placed your hand upon the cool leather cover. The room grew wonderfully still. Nothing happened. Not immediately. The rain continued outside. The fire crackled gently. The warm scent of cedar wood filled the room. Then, a quiet sound echoed beneath your fingertips, almost like a distant tide breathing somewhere far away. Without anyone touching it, the old bronze clasp slowly unlocked. The heavy cover opened by itself. A gentle blue light spilled across the wooden table. It carried the scent of salt, cool ocean air, and waves that had traveled farther than memory itself. The innkeeper simply watched in silence. The sea had made its choice. The blue light slowly surrounded you. There was no wind, no rushing water, only a feeling of perfect calm. The wooden walls of the inn quietly faded from view. The warmth of the fireplace drifted farther away. When the light finally settled, you found yourself standing upon a smooth white stone pathway. Above you stretched an endless ocean, deep, silent, beautiful. No sunlight reached this place. Instead, countless enchanted crystals illuminated the deep sea with soft shades of sapphire, emerald, and turquoise. The ocean did not feel dark. It felt alive. Ahead of you, the stone pathway stretched peacefully across the ocean floor. Its surface was smooth, ancient, and untouched by time. There were no signs, no maps, no directions, yet somehow every step felt certain. In the distance, two immense crystal towers slowly emerged from the blue silence. Between them stood a magnificent gateway carved from white stone and glowing crystal. There were no doors. There had never been. The gateway was not built to keep anyone out. It simply welcomed those whom the sea had chosen. As you walked closer, a quiet feeling settled within your heart. You realized this kingdom had never been hidden. It had only been patiently waiting for the right traveler. Crossing beneath the great gateway felt strangely familiar. No voice greeted you, no guards stood watch. Only the gentle glow of enchanted crystals reflected across polished stone. Beyond the gateway, an extraordinary kingdom slowly revealed itself. Elegant towers rose from the seabed like works of living art. Stone bridges curved gracefully above peaceful canals. Crystal gardens shimmered with soft blue and emerald light. Every building seemed carefully crafted, not to impress, but to bring harmony. The deeper you looked, the more the kingdom felt less like a place built by hands and more like something the ocean itself had dreamed into existence. The streets were calm, not because they were empty, but because no one hurried. Citizens moved with quiet purpose, greeting one another with gentle smiles. Some carried stacks of ancient books, others carefully polished glowing crystal tablets. Children gathered beneath luminous coral trees, while patient teachers shared stories older than kingdoms on the surface. Laughter was soft, conversations were gentle, even silence seemed welcomed here. No one appeared concerned with wealth or status. Instead, every face reflected the quiet joy of learning something new. For this was a kingdom where knowledge was treasured more deeply than gold. As you continued walking, something unexpected caught your attention. The royal palace stood proudly in the distance. Its crystal domes sparkled with quiet elegance, yet it did not dominate the city. Every road, every bridge, every peaceful gathering of citizens seemed to lead somewhere else, toward an even grander building resting at the very heart of the kingdom, the Great Library. It was larger than the palace itself, more beautifully crafted, more carefully protected. Only then did you begin to understand what truly ruled this remarkable place. Not a crown, not a throne, but wisdom itself. The closer you came to the Great Library, the quieter the kingdom became. Not because voices disappeared, but because every sound seemed to carry respect. Citizens paused for a moment before entering. Some gently touched the crystal walls. Others bowed their heads with quiet gratitude. No one had asked them to do so. It was simply tradition. For generations beyond memory, the people of the kingdom believed that knowledge was the greatest gift the sea had ever offered. Even the king walked through these doors, not as a ruler, but as another humble student. Here, every title was left outside. Only curiosity was welcomed within. The entrance opened into a breathtaking hall, unlike anything you had ever imagined. Towering crystal arches stretched high into the darkness above. Instead of sunlight, the entire library was illuminated by enchanted crystals growing naturally from the walls, pillars, and ceiling. Their gentle blue and emerald glow filled every corner with peaceful warmth. Endless bookshelves curved gracefully into the distance. Thousands upon thousands of books rested beside crystal tablets, ancient scrolls, and luminous stones that quietly pulsed with forgotten memories. The deeper you looked, the more impossible it became to imagine where the library truly ended. You slowly wandered between the shelves. Every section held knowledge from a different corner of the world. There were histories of kingdoms long forgotten, maps of oceans no surface sailor had ever crossed, the language of winds, the memory of ancient forests, the songs of distant mountains, even stories carried for centuries by the tides themselves. Nothing here had been collected to possess it. Everything had been preserved so that one day someone willing to learn might discover it. Not every book was written with ink. Some knowledge rested inside glowing crystals. When a gentle hand touched their smooth surface, soft light flowed quietly through the crystal like living water. Images appeared, voices whispered, entire memories unfolded without a single written word. The ocean remembered everything, every wave, every journey, every discovery. The people of this kingdom believed that nothing truly disappeared. It simply waited until someone was ready to understand it. At the very center of the library stood something unlike any book you had ever seen. Resting above a circular stone pedestal floated a single crystal book, larger than a carriage and carved from perfectly transparent crystal. Its pages turned slowly by themselves. No hands touched them, no magic was spoken. Each page shimmered with tiny streams of light, as though countless stories flowed gently beneath its surface. Around the great crystal book sat scholars, children, artisans, keepers, and even the king. No chair was higher than another. No place was reserved for power. Here, everyone arrived with the same purpose: to learn. As you quietly observed the great hall, an elderly figure approached with calm and gentle steps, the Grand Librarian. No grand announcement marked the arrival, no crowd gathered. The citizens simply smiled with quiet respect before returning to their reading. The Grand Librarian offered a warm smile and bowed gently. Without speaking a single word, the keeper opened a small reading room beside the great hall and stepped aside. There was no invitation to follow, no expectation, only a peaceful understanding that every traveler would discover exactly the knowledge they were ready to receive. Inside the quiet reading room, the shelves were smaller, yet somehow felt even more extraordinary. The books resting there did not seem to wait for curious eyes. They waited for curious hearts. As you slowly walked past them, one ancient volume seemed to glow a little brighter. Nearby, a crystal sphere released a soft melody that reminded you of waves meeting a distant shore. Another crystal whispered fragments of forgotten languages that somehow felt strangely familiar. The library never chose for you. It simply allowed your heart to recognize what it had been searching for all along. When you finally looked around once more, you noticed something beautiful. No one hurried to finish a book. No one competed to know more than another. Knowledge was never collected as a trophy. It was shared as a gift. Children eagerly showed their discoveries to elders. Scholars listened carefully to questions from the youngest students. Even the king quietly exchanged ideas with gardeners, artisans, and travelers alike. In this kingdom, wisdom grew stronger each time it was shared. And perhaps that was the greatest treasure the sea had chosen to protect. As your time within the library slowly came to an end, the Grand Librarian walked beside you once more. Still, not a single word was spoken. Before the great crystal doors, the keeper paused and gently placed a hand upon the ancient stone wall. The enchanted crystals surrounding the entrance glowed softly in response. It was then you understood. The kingdom had never hidden itself from the world. It simply waited. Those who wished to conquer it would never find the way. Those who sought treasure would never see its light. Only hearts free from greed and filled with a quiet hunger to learn would ever be welcomed beneath the sea. You walked once more through the peaceful streets of the kingdom. The crystal gardens continued glowing with gentle light. Citizens smiled as they passed, each carrying books, crystal tablets, or quiet conversations towards another day of learning. Somewhere in the distance, a gentle sea creature drifted gracefully beyond the crystal towers before disappearing into the endless blue. No one stopped to admire it. No one seemed surprised. Here, harmony was simply part of everyday life. The sea, the kingdom, its people, and every living creature existed together without fear, without haste, and without the desire to possess more than they truly needed. For the first time, you understood what peace could look like. The great stone gateway stood before you once again. Just as before, there were no doors. There had never been. You took one final look at the kingdom. The crystal towers still glowed softly. The great library remained filled with quiet readers. Somewhere beyond the streets, another lesson was beginning. The sea slowly embraced the kingdom once more, not to hide it, but to preserve everything it had chosen to protect. A quiet breath later, you found yourself back inside the wandering inn. The journal rested silently upon the old oak table. Its cover was closed once again. Only a single crystal blue droplet shimmered beneath the warm firelight. The innkeeper smiled gently. "The sea never hides wisdom," the innkeeper whispered. "It simply waits for a heart ready to receive it." Outside, the rain continued to fall, and far beneath the endless ocean, the kingdom beneath the sea quietly welcomed its next page of history. Please enjoy the warmth of the wandering inn. May peace always be with you. Good night, traveler.